Welcome back everyone to the competition week of the 2022 Liverpool Gymnastics World Championships. I've been back for just over a week now. I've been taking it easy. But here, let me take you through how it all went and tell you all about it. We came to Liverpool at night, and the very next morning, first thing in the morning, we had our first podium training. Something that was different about this World Championships is that we had two podium trainings. This is the first time something like this has happened. Although I don't know what happened at the Tokyo World Championships because I wasn't there. But at Olympics, I remember distinctly we only had one. So, we sort of had to wake up at 4:30 to 5 o'clock. And me and Will got in a good funk every single morning, waking up at about 4:30 to 5 and having a little move around, doing some bungee, doing a little bit of core and rolling out, because our bus for the competition and for the podium trainings was at 6:40 a.m. We would catch the bus from our hotel to the Hilton. Over there, the US guys would board the bus with us, and that's it. Those are the only kind of people that were on the bus, because the majority of athletes stayed at a hotel which was which was connected to the arena. So we didn't even bother putting on our uniforms this day. The plan was to just arrive, get comfortable, have an initial move around, and most importantly, adjust to the new time zone. It was a challenging few days before the competition, because usually we're used to getting a week of time training before competing. Here we had, I believe, 4 full days. So this was the first day. We had our podium sesh first thing in the morning. We had a second session in the afternoon / evening. And that's kind of typical at World Championships and World Cups, things like that, where you get 2 sessions a day. And if you're lucky, there will be an open gym session, but otherwise it's usually, there's so many groups and so many athletes that you have a 2-hour slot and a 1.5 hour slot. So there's not too much time. You have to be efficient, but you do get to come in twice a day. And of course, that's probably the highlight for most athletes, is actually training with all of the other countries. In our group, we had Team America going around with us. We had 2 Icelandic gymnasts, and they both did all around, which helped us because it gave more rest in between the competition turns. Because counting myself and William, we only had 4 gymnasts. So let's say none of the Icelandic guys did high bar and Will didn't do high bar. Well, that would have put me first up on high bar, meaning I would have had to warm up and then shortly after present and compete after the one touch. And that would have been very difficult for me. So thanks to that, what we did was put me first up on P bars. That way you get more time to prepare the bars. Then I was last up on high bar. Will didn't do high bar, so I was third up, giving me plenty of time to recover after the one touch. And I had to change a couple things at this competition compared to how I train. One thing that springs to mind was I decided to leave Pagan out for my one-touch warm-up. So before the World Championships, what I've been doing is warming up all of the releases in the 10-minute touch, and doing a Pagan and Cassina tap in the one touch. Now, in the training, you're warming up and then you're warming up and competing on the same bar. But here, of course, you're warming up in a back gym, and then you're going out to take your one touch and compete in a whole different gym, but also on a whole different bar, where the tensions and settings can be slightly different, which is the lesson I learned at the Commonwealth Games, where I would go on the same tension on the meter, the number is the same, or at least the tension on the cables felt the same, but the bar was slightly different for releases. So that's where 2 podium trainings really came in handy, because I could adjust my timings. I could feel what sort of bar was in the competition arena versus what sort of bar was out in the back gym. And so one way I approached it was to do the pagan in the one touch, so that I would feel directly before my competition what sort of situation it is. And what happened in the competition, you'll see the pagan and the one touch was really close. So I knew, okay, speed up the giant a little bit more. Don't go too early. Something that took a step back in the competition were my dismounts. Dismounts have been really easy for me, especially just by itself or in a little sequence, but I found myself under rotating the dismount, even just the double layout, more often than not in the competition. We had, after the podium training, a day in between our second podium training. Then we had the podium training, one more day, and then compete on the 5th day. And I was stoked that I felt good enough to go for all my releases on only the 2nd day in the new environment, on the other side of the world. Second podium training. So this one, of course, we didn't just do a swing around. We were planning to do a proper competition run through. So the proper warm up in the back gym, as I would in my competition run throughs back home, following the same procedures, and trying to do a one touch routine on the competition floor. And maybe to talk a bit about the competition, how the competition went. The Makoots destroyed me again. That's 3 internationals this year where the Makoots prevented me from scoring well. The World Cups, of course, Commonwealth Games, and now here again at the World Championships. It went very well in the podium training, and actually I remember I overcooked the giant here and still went for the 3/4 D-arm straight away. Did one of the better Makootses. So here you'll see giants a bit overcooked. I missed the handstand, but still the Makoots was okay. Nevertheless, I did get through the routine without any huge errors, but of course I took a dead swing, and then I had a front prize. The front prize gets deducted, and that kind of put me off a little bit for the stutz. I did one of those squirmy wormy stutzes, but brought the focus back on high bar, and I was on top of the world. I was so on top of the world after I caught Cassina and then Coleman, which did the whole legs apart thing again. I was close. I thought I was close to the bar, but I really wasn't. And it goes to show, no matter how prepared I think I am, still gotta keep attention on those bits that fall apart in the training. So that's just another part of the development that I need to suss out as I continue to train for the next competitions, which will be the World Cups in Baku and Doha. We were hoping to do Egypt next year as well, but Egypt got put 2 weeks later, so we're gonna scrap Egypt, unfortunately, and just do the 2 World Cups. Not sure what happened there. One hand got on the bar, the other hand was a bit down, so the second hand missed the bar completely. Again, kind of a acclimatization thing, different sort of lighting. And that's why you have these podium trainings, to get those little mistakes out of the way. I did end up leaving out the Zoli Min. I'll tell you the story after, because I'm about to kind of do a little wrap up over here of the build up. We got an empty gym all to ourselves. We finished podium training and we're ready for the World Championships. Will and I have come out of the build-up alive. Podium was good, with, of course, as always, some issues here and there, but nothing too major. Everything is doable. Who's that? Is that Ben?
Yeah.
What's up, Ben?
He's horse's balls.
So, day before competition, I was pretty exhausted. That podium took it out of me. I went full send, the adrenaline was pumping, so next day, I had some ideas, like I wanted to hit this Peach 1 a little bit, but just did not have that explosive energy on the day. And, you know, I wasn't worried about it because I know that if I'm recovered on comp day, I'll be fine. So, once I got through the Pagan Casino Coleman, you know, immediately it hits you like, that's it. The risky stuff is out of the way. All you gotta do is finish. Again, that sort of thinking prevented me from remembering, okay, knees in the taps, because I was watching the catches, and again, every single tap and post-catch arch, there was a 0.1 in there. I took out Zoli. I sort of did the blind change at the end of the routine to go for the Zoli, and pulled the front giant over and just felt like it didn't have much power. So I was gonna do another giant and see if I could still do it. And that's when I hear a big ah in the crowd. And later on I learned that it was Donnell kind of doing his roly-poly over the vault. So I guess he slipped on the vault or something. But anyway, I heard that and I was like, okay, you know what? Just get off the bar, land this dismount and hit this routine. And that's what I did. Of course, having your 0.3 knee bend in the tap, a 0.3 pike on the double at full, and you know, probably a 0.1, maybe a 0.3 hop. I'll let you guys be the judge of that actually. How big was my hop on my high bar dismount? Was it a 3 or was it a 1? Remember, if it's shoulder width or more, it's a 3. If it's less than shoulder width, it's a 0.1. So presuming it's a 1, I lost 0.7 on the dismount alone. And then if you combine 0.3 for the legs and the Coleman, which I can fix, we're dealing with 1 point up, which, you know, I could be sitting in the low 14s, and that's kind of inching up there to get into the finals. With the routine that already I can do. Then plus, of course, if I added the 0.2 back to my start value for the Zoli, you know, it was a good feeling for me to look back and think, you know what, if I clean this up, I'm ready to play out there with the big boys. So this was very close in the one touch. Shout out to Reese from the WAG space in Gymnastics New Zealand for filming everything in that 4K. Thank you, Reese. And here we go. If you rewind a little bit, you'll notice I tried to present with my right hand and then I switched to my left because, you know, I present P-bar with my right, high bar with my left to keep it even. I might have a little bit of OCD there. So another thing I can get a 0.3 back is this tap in the casino. I'm not too worried that I got a 0.3 there. I'm stoked that I pretty much kept my feet together on the catch. But over time, if I do straighten those knees out in the casino tap, well, that's another 0.3 I can get back. So all in all, you know, I got through this routine cleanly once, which was the Monday before I left. From start to finish with major form breaks, I want to say I probably got through it about 6 or 7 times, maybe 5 to 7 times. And actually it'll be interesting to look back to see actually how many times I got through the routine from start to finish without coming off the bar. So there you have it. That was my World Championships. Rebuild begins, and totally looking forward to the future ahead. Thanks for watching.